They say karma takes its time, but that morning it came barreling down our street with flashing blue and red lights right as two fake cops in a white pickup truck launched nose first into the ditch in front of my house. Their trailer was still half attached. The tow strap flailing, and strapped to it was my late grandpa's 800-pound steel bull Oswald. I stood on my porch barefoot in my bathrobe, holding my phone as real justice finally arrived, at 15 miles per hour. My name's Calvin Dorsey. I test software for a living, which means I spend most of my time breaking things to make sure they work. I like quiet weekends, pruning hydrangeas, grilling alone. Nothing fancy. When my grandpa passed 2 years ago, he left me his masterpiece Oswald, a life-sized bull made from scrap tractor parts, rebar, and enough stubbornness to survive the apocalypse. He built it after the bank took his ranch as a reminder that pride and iron can outlast debt. When I moved to Lark's Crossing, a cookie-cutter suburban paradise with perfect lawns and HOA newsletters printed on recycled arrogance, I put Oswald right in the middle of my front yard. That was the day I made my first mistake. Enter Priscilla Harrove, the HOA president. Mid-50s, perfect posture, clipboard surgically attached to her hand, eyes like a hawk who hadn't eaten in a week. She appeared the first morning after I moved in wearing a pastel cardigan and a frown you could balance a ruler on. "Mr. Dorsey," she said, tapping her pen like a metronome of judgment, "no agricultural displays are permitted within front yard view." I thought she was joking. I even laughed. Big mistake. She didn't laugh back. Instead, she waved a stack of bylaws like tarot cards predicting my doom. I nodded politely, said I'd review them, and went back to watering my tomatoes. 2 days later, I got my first violation notice. Then another. Then 6. The bull apparently was a livestock signal, a hazard to community aesthetics, and my personal favorite, a possible inspiration for reckless child behavior. I responded with calm, factual emails. Oswald is welded steel, not livestock. The horns are decorative. The kids are fine. But Priscilla wasn't looking for logic. She was looking for control. Soon I'd spot her lurking by my fence at dawn, tape measure in hand, whispering into her phone like she was coordinating a sting operation. And then came the compliance patrol. 2 teenage-looking men in matching black polos with neighborhood police printed in bold letters. Their names Chad and Brad. Yes, really. They were the sons of one of the HOA board members, and the kind of guys who thought wearing tactical belts made them heroes. They bought fake badges online, downloaded a police scanner app, and strutted around the cul-de-sac with flashlights like they were auditioning for Cops HOA Edition. I tried to ignore it. I really did. But ignoring a Karen with a clipboard is like ignoring a wasp. It doesn't go away. It just circles back, angrier. By late September, it all boiled over. It was a drizzly Saturday morning when the sound of a truck engine idling too long pulled me out of my coffee. Out front was a white pickup with magnetic decals that read Community Enforcement Division. Behind it, a rattly trailer. On my lawn stood Chad Brad, and of course Priscilla sipping from a stainless steel tumbler labeled Meeting Juice. "Mr. Dorsey," she called out, her voice sharp as vinegar, "we're here to remove the unauthorized livestock display." I stepped out, still in my slippers. "That's not livestock. That's art." Chad puffed his chest. "Sir, we're acting under authority of the Lark's Crossing HOA, which I said crossing my arms is not law enforcement." Brad grinned, flipping a switch on the dash. Red and blue lights flashed across my lawn like a discount rave. "By power vested in us by the community association," he said, "you are hereby cited for pasture violations, unlawful agricultural display, and bull incitement." Bull incitement. That one almost broke me. But I didn't yell. I didn't shove. I just took out my phone and started recording. "Gentlemen, I said you're trespassing." Priscilla smirked. "We're within our rights." That's when doubt hit me like a gut punch. I stood there watching them loop a tow strap around Oswald's neck and thought, maybe I really should have just taken it down. Was I being stubborn? Was I turning into my grandpa, fighting battles no one cared about? Maybe all this stress, the letters, the meetings, wasn't worth it. But then I looked at that bull, at the welded scars, the rusted steel shoulders, the way it faced the street like it refused to bow. My grandpa lost everything once, but he never let anyone take his dignity. And I wasn't about to let someone like Priscilla erase his memory for the sake of aesthetic harmony. So I called 911. 911. What's your emergency? Yeah, hi. 2 men in fake police uniforms are trying to steal my lawn ornament. Sir, they have flashing lights and everything. Help is on the way. That's when everything unraveled. Chad and Brad, in a burst of idiotic confidence, decided to finish the job. The strap groaned. The trailer lurched. Oswald didn't move an inch. Grandpa had welded that bull to a concrete pad 3 feet deep. Physics wasn't on their side. The strap snapped loud like a gunshot. The truck fishtailed, slid across my wet lawn, and dove headfirst into the ditch. Water splashed. Mud flew. And Oswald. He rolled free, majestic as hell, landing upright in the cattails like a war hero. Neighbors poured out of their houses like prairie dogs, sensing drama. Phones up, bathrobes flapping. One guy had a cereal box in hand. Priscilla shrieked, "Secure the livestock!" It would have been poetic if she didn't sound like a cartoon villain. Then came the sound of real sirens. Deputy Martinez pulled up in a county sheriff SUV, lights steady, calm as ever. The man looked like he'd seen every flavor of suburban stupidity and was just tired enough to be immune to it. He stepped out, surveyed the scene. The fake badges, the trailer, the bull gleaming in the mud, and finally said, "Boys, are you impersonating law enforcement?" Chad blinked. Brad blinked. Neither brain cell volunteered for duty. I walked over, still recording. "Deputy, I've got everything here. Emails, footage, HOA letters, even video of her." I pointed to Priscilla, coaching them through my fence. She sputtered, "This is a misunderstanding. They're independent security consultants." Deputy Martinez raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, HOA covenants don't authorize property seizures, emergency lighting," or he paused, cosplay coup d'etat. Backup arrived. Officer Chen started documenting everything, taking photos of their Amazon special badges, the illegal lights, the decals that peeled off like cheap stickers. She bagged them as evidence. Priscilla tried again, voice trembling. "I was protecting property values." Martinez looked at her the way you'd look at someone microwaving fish in an office break room. "Ma'am, the only property value in danger here is your reputation." He cited Chad and Brad for impersonating officers, reckless endangerment, trespassing, and attempted theft. When the tow truck showed up to pull their vehicle out, the driver couldn't stop laughing. He even used the same tow strap they'd snapped trying to steal Oswald. Poetic justice at its finest. The neighbors applauded. Someone yelled, "Encore, Mr. Henderson," from 3 doors down, raised his cereal box in salute. Oswald was hoisted back onto my lawn, crowned with weeds and pond scum, looking like a steel gladiator fresh from battle. 3 days later, the HOA called an emergency meeting in the community center, a glorified room with folding chairs and the scent of burned coffee. 73 homeowners showed up. The insurance rep, Ms. Clarkson, stood at the front and read from her folder, "Coverage denial due to criminal acts committed by board-authorized personnel." Silence, then chaos. Board members turned on each other. Voices rose. Priscilla tried to speak, saying she'd been misunderstood, that she only wanted to uphold standards. Ms. Clarkson opened another folder 3 inches thick. Evidence of fund misuse, harassment, and unauthorized activity. The board voted, unanimous. Priscilla was stripped of her title, fined $12,000, and banned from any committee involving compliance enforcement or standards. She went pale, then purple. Her tumbler hit the floor. For the first time since I moved here, Priscilla Harrove had nothing to say. My lawyer handled the rest. The HOA paid for the ditch repairs, lawn damage, and even the emotional distress. I got full restitution and a framed apology letter addressed, I kid you not, "Dear Oswald." It hangs in my garage. Now when I mow the lawn, I pass that bull and smile. His metal hide still gleams in the sun, a little dented, a little weathered, but undefeated, just like the man who built him. Sometimes I catch Priscilla walking her dog past my yard. She looks away now. No clipboard, no comments, just silence. And Oswald, he just stares back at her, unmoving, unbothered, and entirely within community standards. Because sometimes justice doesn't roar. It just stands there, quiet, cold, and impossible to move. Lesson: never let anyone bully you into erasing what matters, especially when it's made of steel and family pride.